Hello all, welcome to study 3 of the solving studies to improve your chess calculation. This study I bring you in this video is from Ernest Pogosyants and from 1961. Pogosyants, it's one of the biggest number of chess compositions we have. And just in the endgame studies from the database, the endgame database that Harold van Eyden, the one from the study number one, if you remember, that I talk about. Well, in his database, Ernest has the biggest number of endgame studies. So this is a big feature and a big person for chess composition. And I bring you this time this position that for me also brings memories of some emotion. So before in study two, I brought to you a study that was for me one of the most memorable, and this time I bring you one that brought me bad memories because it was one of the most irritating studies that I did. So when I got this study, I tried to solve it, and then I lost a lot of time and was not able to find the right solution. And I was a bit stubborn. I didn't want to advance. So I remember it because how much I was irritated solving this. But of course, normally when we accept bad memories, we also open our heart for the good ones. So we need to travel the path and experience everything. But of course, this is an amazing study. And the thing that I think was the problem for me is because this requires a lot of visualization. You need to really calculate deep, and there are many lines. And so sometimes it's hard on the deepness of the calculation and on visualization. But okay, we are here for practice. So I hope you understand that you need to keep visualizing the study, not moving the pieces until the end. And because the key move, a small tip, the biggest key move, because there are more than one, of course, the biggest key move is right in the end of the study. That's how hard it is. And that's why I took so much and spend so much effort to solve it with much and big frustration. But okay, now it's one that I remember. It's important, and here it is for you to also try it. So good luck. The counter is going to start, and I see you in the solution. Okay, time for our solution. And the first right move is bishop a5. And it's I think it's easy to find this move because if you look at the position, if you are analyzing it on the beginning, you notice that black aim is to get some counterplay by threatening to advance the b pawn, and if he is able to exchange the remaining 2 pawns, well, we have a bishop against two bishops, and this is normally a draw. So we need to find at the beginning a way to control the advancing of the b pawn, and there's only one possible way to do it without allowing a draw, and so this move comes very natural. Then it's black to play. And if you remember from the guide, if you haven't seen the guide, I always suggest you to give it a read because it can help you, or watch the video, of course. It can help you a lot in improving your discipline while you are calculating a position. The next thing we need to do is to play the best moves for the defense. So we also need to try to play the best moves for black. This is one thing I struggle. That's why also this kind of puzzles make it a bit more harder because there are more than one chance, than one line. And so, but we need to make the effort to find the best possibilities. So the first thing that came to mind is okay, black can take this pawn. Black can keep this pawn to threat, but if it exchange the remaining white pawn, it's it's a draw for sure. So one possible way to start is to go with king for g5, threatening to again after this delivering a check with the bishop. The king moves away, and when it moves away, I advance my pawn, guaranteeing the draw. So here, the most logical approach is to start with this move. White can deliver a very efficient defense. We first give a check, so the king needs to move away from the pawn, and after this we can simply control the promotion of the b pawn. And as you can see, the king now has problems in reaching the pawn, so advancing just allows white to take the pawn with the king or the pawn, and with the two bishops controlling the other pawn, it will be easy to allow this pawn to promote, the remaining white pawn to promote. Just need to be careful calculating a bit, but normally here we are allowing white to win in an easier way. Okay, with this in mind, other thing that black can do is just okay, let's just keep the position like it is and see how can white force it. Like for example, going here, just protecting the pawn. First thing we need to do now, from the white perspective, to deal with this more passive approach from black, it's I need to control the pawn, so I need to give a check to be sure that the pawn advancing is not possible. Because if I do something stupid, like for example going to e8 with the idea, okay, I'm now threatening to take this pawn, then I will be surprised with the next move from black, because what is black threatening? To advance the pawn. So first, if we attack the bishop, then we have a free route to promote, because now white is not controlling the advance of the pawn, so bishop c3 was not played. So basically we are allowing black to take our bishop. So next moves possible, it's simply I need to control the pawn and then black takes the bishop, which is not a good solution. So if again, if black plays passive, I need to go with check. And then the king tries to approach again with the same philosophy if I exchange the pawn. Well, I don't need to go there. And when it goes here, I control the pawn again. So there are more than one way to stop it. So it's not efficient for black to waste tempo in the main plan of exchanging the pawn. So here, coming back to the beginning, we already can see that black also needs to be smart to find a plan to reach the exchange of the last remaining pawn of white with tempo. And that's what also make it difficult, because it's easier for us to think on our side, in this situation the white side, but it's very hard to find the best solution for the opponent. That's what we learn when doing this kind of practice. So after some time of thinking on this, I was able to find that okay, I need to force white to take the pawn, because this will allows me to reach the threat of the exchange in time. Like for example, here I am forced to deliver the check. Now the king goes close to the pawn, notice, and I am forced to take the pawn again, because basically the pawn is threatening to promote, so I can't be here playing with check because I won't have the c1 controlling the pawn again. So basically I am forced to play taking the pawn. And as you can see, black, by sacrificing the b pawn, black was able to achieve the desired position of now giving the check. Now white moves away, which is a mistake, I will explain, but this is on purpose. And advancing the pawn, there's no way white can avoid the exchange. So, for example, if he takes, I take, and now it's a draw. So, the key moment for white here is to play this move, which makes a huge difference from h1, and we are going to discover it a bit more ahead. So you see, we are solving this, we are practicing by solving this, and we are looking at this position in the board, so it's easier. But when we are practicing, we need to be here just with the starting position, just looking at starting position. That's why we need to practice so we can improve on this area. These are the calculations and the kind of visualization we are going to practice to improve, to really improve, not just being there solving studies and getting a sensation that we are improving and we are not improving. Now it's black to play, and of course it advances the pawn because he wants to exchange the pawn. So now it's time for white to play another save the day, because even if this was the starting study, it would be hard. It's not as intuitive as one may think. So again, as you can see, we can learn and practice really interesting stuff. Of course, after the solution completed, oh, it's easier. It's like when Christopher Colombo discovered America and he was in a dinner celebrating with friends, and there was a comment, oh, what you have achieved is easy. Yeah, it's the same thing. After, it's always easy. Here we give a check with the idea that if the king comes down, well, this is a checkmate. So no can do for black to go with this. So it needs to go to the side. And now, can you find the brilliant key move that solves everything and leaves us in peace with this study forever? It's not easy, but it's brilliant. It's to sacrifice the pawn with g4. Because, again, if the king takes the pawn, then we deliver checkmate. And if the bishop takes the pawn, we also deliver a brilliant checkmate. So we are checkmating in two brilliant ways. Of course, if the king moves away, like for example here, we take the bishop and it's also a win. Okay, I hope you have enjoyed this very irritating study for me that Ernest made the favor to bring to us, and see you again in future studies. Bye bye.